Now, let me ask you a general Jarvan question.
Yep.
You people seem to enjoy going Cinderhulk these days. What's the reasoning for this? Like, I understand obviously in high elo, like Master Plus, people doing it when your laners are competent, but what's the logic behind the Cinderhulk that I'm seeing? Like, why do you build Cinderhulk?
Especially this game because I want to get my Jinx fed, and we have Thresh and the Morgana, so I want to just heal for her instead of like try to kill myself, kill people myself.
Yeah, but yeah, you tend to build it most games though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
and that's a problem.
I think it's fine. Like, it's obviously good jungling and supportive jungling, you know, if you're in the LCS or whatever. But the issue for me is, I mean, so what, you were peak D2, you finished D3, so obviously you know a lot of the fundamentals. However, you must always remember, especially this game, right?
Yes.
You're against an AFK farming, or not AFK farming, but a heavy farming, hardcore scaling, very annoying AP Shyvana. I don't like this champion.
Yeah, me neither.
It's very irritating that they can do nothing and sort of take over. So, what's your early game plan usually? Do you like to go buff invade?
It kind of depends about the game, but usually yes.
See that Twitch chat? There you go. This is how easy it is to get first blood with a Jarvan. Hello, lower person, everyone fighting, level 1, double buff. Boom, flash order, very nice. Now at this point, I'm gonna ask you a bit more questions than I would normally, just because obviously you've been higher elo, so understanding your intentions is crucial for me. What do you want to do at this point next?
I want to go reset and path to my bot side. Potentially, I could be invading his top side, but I'm not sure if that's worth it.
Well, at this point, I mean, he's gonna show up. I mean, you could, because he basically went to the red. He didn't. Let's see. Let's actually watch his power thing. I think he knew by you ganking there that you would take in his red. So for him, there's no point even sticking around. And he actually anticipated you might even be setting a trap, so he just goes back to base. So it's good jungling by the Shyvana. Now for me, we want to go straight to the bottom lane. Again, nothing wrong with it, but this is sort of systemic of the issue. Because if you get these good ganks, right? We should easily burn flashes here. Double flash, that's nice, and exhaust. Jinx, no! Syndra's a good champion. My only issue with this gank would be your team doesn't have the wave.
Yeah.
So I might have suggested a red buff first. Just so your team can deal with the wave a bit more. Because Karma Syndra is disgusting. Like, the Syndra damage, we agree about this in Twitch chat, right? Like, I don't know, Syndra just, her damage is insane. For me, it's a good gank, and obviously you burn the sums, but by doing it, you see the whole time you're forcing the bottom lane to absorb all this damage.
Yeah.
So, I think here we should disengage. Which we do, but obviously Syndra, Karma hits the Q. Syndra hits the stun. We're forced to heal. But I mean, it's fine. That's good. I think it's a little bit heavy-handed. So, from my point of view, I think I wait a little bit for 3, just so they can deal with that wave and thin it out a bit, and then you get the same result. You get the same result, right?
Yeah.
You can just take red, walk around. You know that the crab's gonna be up. It should be up. However, there's a consideration to be made for the Shyvana. But I don't think in any universe she's coming down, because there's nowhere near time for the Grump to spawn. So, yeah, I think level 3, let them thin the wave out, give you a better result. But otherwise, you know, good intentions. The only thing for me is I'm going to keep pointing out when you could have done a camp, because I think that's your biggest problem. You're playing too selflessly. You're playing Xmithy. You know, you're just like, okay, I don't exist. I do my thing. So for me, this is where you put your seal on the game. This is where you put the seal on the game, right? So we take red, we gank bottom lane, we get the sums, everything is as normal. Now the wave, basically at this point, this wave should be dead, so your bot lane gets a slightly earlier recall, which is nice for you. But you go back up, you take the crab. Now for me, I think here you should say, right, how confident are you beating a Shyvana 1v1 at this point?
Yeah, I can beat her really easily.
Right. So if we know she started blue side and did a full clear, then we know at 359 that this Grump is going to be up.
Yeah.
And you can assume, right? Now this is more important as you get into diamonds. I'll speak more about their intentions, but it's crucial to think about. You've got the sums here. You've got this here. Your mid laner is on the field. Their mid lane is not on the field. And you know that the Shyvana lost her red, would have seen you bottom side. There's no way she would have been here because if she does recall, she has to go to Krugs. So your entire early game is beautiful. You forced her into a very awkward spot where she had to go back early, then go straight to Krugs and have nothing to sequence. So you ruined her sequencing already just by a buff steal level top gank, which is beautiful. That's what we want. But by showing bottom lane, you're basically telling her, hey, top crab is up and my whole top blue side is up.
Yeah.
So she's definitely going to go for that.
True.
And even if she doesn't, right, you can say, well, it's 358, 357 with Shyvana. It's a bit early. Wait, what time does it actually come up? Let me see. For science,
Yeah.
I'm used to playing freaking slow clearing junglers because I like to hate myself. I like to play Zyra and stupid. Okay, so 358, right? So it's normal. I mean, you should be, instead of going up, you should go take the Gromp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight away, like take the Gromp, yeah. Take the Gromp, take the Wolves. So now you've taken away her camp sequencing even more. Because the assumption is that she's going to take the top crab and your blue side. But you don't mind if she takes your blue side because they're both level 1 camps, whereas these were level 4 camps. So you come out ahead. And if you do that, you can actually go set a trap for another gank bottom lane because they didn't even go B, they stayed.
Yeah.
So I feel like in terms of your early game pathing and domination, that's the play. That's what I would do if I was playing Jarvan and sort of wanted... I would do that if I was playing Rek'Sai, which is a very good similar playstyle in terms of early game pressure. Obviously,
Yeah, I think that's my second most played champion.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do the buff invade as well, but you need level 3, but at least like that kind of stuff is very crucial. Level 3, okay, I take your stuff, and then I go on down. And you could easily, because you know Syndra has no flash, I mean, you have no flash either. No, okay. If you had flash with Rek'Sai, you could do stuff here with the E, but not with Jarvan. But at the very least, you might have another gank if they overstay. Where's the Karma? The Karma's even thinking about it. Look, the Karma's thinking about it.
Yeah.
And your top lane is nice here in that he's does he get it? Ooh, almost.
I forgot to mention I was actually duo with this Mordekaiser.
Okay. So you told them things.
Yeah.
Okay. See now basically
Shyvana should be topside right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing for me is in your mind, if you want this to sort of become absolutely dominating and suffocating, because I think the way you play, you have that opportunity to really suffocate the enemy jungler. If she's taking your stuff and you're not taking her stuff, you lose, because she will outfarm you for all time. She outfarms almost everyone other than freaking Karthus. Well,
Yeah,
he can't really move anymore, so. Okay. There we go. We get the Zed's flash. We get the auto attacks down. Morgana presses buttons. That's good. Good auto spacing. To use doubleless cheese words. Shyvana flashes and misses her E. So that's nice.
Yeah.
The same thing could have happened, except you take all her stuff. And because you took her stuff, she's unlikely to invade your jungle. Because Morgana is up and the bottom lane is up. Which means even if you took her stuff and you do that mid lane gank, and you have to flash out in your low, I don't think she is cocky enough to go in and steal your Raptors and Krugs.
Yeah,
Do you agree? Like, most likely, in that situation, she's not going to do your... Like, right here. Right? So she comes, she flashes an E's and misses. She's not going to stick around to take these. So the fact that you'd have to go back with these being up, I think is okay. In the counter jungling scenario. Because she wouldn't have these. She now would immediately be forced to do the dragon, I think. Yeah. Which I think, I mean, she probably should have done anyway. She's got lane prior, but that's a separate discussion. Okay, so what's your game plan now? Do you go back? You go back, you're right?
Yeah, I reset and flew for the lane priors. Checks is coming days, so I'm not able to gank that for a while at least. Oh, actually, I didn't go back.
No, you didn't. You stayed, yeah. You stayed and you walked over Vision. which means you told her your game plan. Yeah, I think I would have just gone back to base.
Yeah.
Because if you go back to base, you can actually afford to go straight for the gank here, right? Because your camps wouldn't be up, so you can afford, like, you're maximizing your time. You don't get seen. Yeah, the wolves are up. That's unfortunate, but the nice thing is if you go back in the spot right here, you can come back straight to bottom lane. I like the idea. It's good. You get, well, let's see what happens actually. Let's see what happens, and then we can talk. So Thresh should hit a hook. Yeah, baby. EQ. We slap down everything else. Autos and Ws. Good. Nice. Very nice. So from here, you do that. Your camps would now be spawning again anyway. So you lose literally nothing from the camp. We need a word for it, guys. What's the word? We had rubber banded experience. What's the elevated experience? I'm gonna call it that. So you'd have the elevated experience of the Raptors and the Krugs, without losing any time. That's nice too. Very good. Good pressure. So now I'm thinking. Okay, so we're on different pages. Okay, no, I remember. I pre-scouted. Vision control into Drake. Yeah. Exactly. I don't think you needed to. I think that's a waste of the control ward, though. That's just habit, right? Because you hit the plant, so you don't need to use it. I would have saved the control ward, and then we'll see. Like, once you do this dragon, okay? Once you do the dragon, I think what I do is I go probing. I go hit this plant. Because you didn't get a plant activated on you. You didn't have Shyvana show up at all. Which means she either did blue side into red side, which means she's not even there, or she went red side and her blue's up. So either way, she won't be here, which means you could hit this and maybe leave the control ward and get rid of this plant and maybe sneak the blue.
Yeah.
You would have to play it. You would have to play it according to the lane states, but I think you might even be able to sneak this blue away.
Yeah.
And then you can fall back. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I usually place the pink ward right over there because, especially since there's Zed, he usually roams either from river or like behind the dragon. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you've got many places to put. Like, yeah, if it's a Zed, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, like the control ward here is actually pretty useless. That's a good point. Like you could just put it a tri-bush or even on your own jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like by the red buff is actually very good for anti-roam. Yeah, I agree. Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, at the very least, though, you could deny plants, take the blue, full back, get your red buff. Oh, the red buff is not up, of course. I mean, Krugs. Get your Krugs and your Raptors. And you would be level 6 at this point. Okay. Here we go. We see the roams. Oh, my goodness. The AP Shyvana always tilts me with that ultimate. Oh, who called the TP play? You or the Mordekaiser?
Yep.
Was it you?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, like that's all good. I agree with everything you've done, with the exception that you should have at least like maybe 2 more camps, and those 2 camps should have been hers at least. At least 2 or 3 camps should have been hers, because you haven't taken any of her camps yet, where she's taken yours.
Yeah.
And now she's level 6. But otherwise it's fine. Okay, now I assume we want to go for Herald and stuff.
Yes.
Shyvana, what's our vision like? What do we see? We don't see anything. Okay, we take the blue. See, you remember when you didn't go back and you went up and took the wolves? And then you got spotted on a ward. Fortunately, you didn't get punished for it. But at least now you get a little bit of benefits from it from your wolves. But oh, you don't even do wolves. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I thought you were gonna do the wolves, and that gives you the extended experience. Okay. What do we think about this one? Talk me through this one.
I basically, since I was on call with the Mordekaiser, I said engage whenever you can. And tell me what's going on. And he told me he's not able to kill him, but we still can get him.
You see, I know everyone's going Cinder Hulk and stuff, but Like right there for me, Warrior is a dead Jax.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if you want to play early game, play for early game. Don't play for late game. Okay, that's Papega, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And now Zed's gonna roam up. The Zed's roaming up here. Yeah, you're dead. Yeah. Okay, so this is, I guess, a little bit of a throw. I know you guys end up with a heavy lead anyway, so it's besides the point. But like, imagine if we didn't know what was happening. So for me, step one is this Jack should be dead with the Warrior. That's at least one plate, kill the ward. The important thing to notice, the mid laner is back in base. Zed is on the field. Your mid lane is 2 levels up. Holy, that's very nice. I think here, you kill the Jax and get a plate. It's way more important to get the Crab and the Herald than it is to get more plates. Because you got a Herald for plates, you know? Because for me, it's about your experience. Because you're going to always fall down in experience to the Shyvana.
Yeah.
So whatever you can get farm-wise that lets you stick it out. Like, this is just too greedy. Because we last saw Shyvana bottom side. If I believe correctly. Which means it's most likely... Yeah, she was most likely seen going across mid after doing blue side. So she's going to be top side. So I think you should have factored that in a little bit to your thinking. But I like the play. It's just, I mean, for me, it's... I don't know. Even on War Rank, I go Warrior now. Just unless you're in a place where the laners are really gonna be reliable.
Yeah.
I think just making sure you can kill people is way more important because now you get a plate, one plate, leave, go do the scuttle, and then basically you would see the Zed coming up very soon, and you could just fall back and take the wolves. I think the Zed interrupts you on the Herald anyway because he has vision. So for me, it's a case of just take one plate, tell your duo back off. Shyvana should be here. She was. Let me go down and get this crab. And if Zed rotates, I just fall off the Herald and I take my wolves. And then you can go back to base. Yep. And that basically at that point, you would be level 7. She'd be level 8, but you'd be level 7. Okay. Okay. You want to go straight into you go straight into gargoyles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see you in Twitch chat, that's right. I mean, you can build depending on the game state entirely. That's exactly right. That's why he's so good. So for me, what's your next goal? You tell me. What do you want to do next?
Clear from bot side to Herald.
Full clear to bot side?
Full clear from bot side to top side into Herald.
Okay. But we don't do that, do we?
No.
No. That's why I like asking, because I want you to see how the game is now when you have all the information. What decision would you make, and what decision did you actually make in the game? So for me, if you're gonna go a camp into a gank, it's the same as I say all the time. Like your red buff here would be very nice. So the red buff spawned. It's level 7. And you were level 6 at the time. So, you know, you get nice experience from this red buff. Okay? And then obviously you get way more use out of red buff on the bottom lane. So if you're going to sequence up, then obviously that makes sense because Krugs, Red, Raptors, we can do the Wolves, we can do the Scuttle, we can do the Grump, we can do everything. However, I think you saw the Dragon is going to be coming up. Which is what changed your mind, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you go up and you give away Dragon to Shyvana, that sucks. Like, you want Dragon still prior on this stupid champion, 100%. Yeah. So I think going red into bottom lane would be your best play. But the play is fine. Thing is, she has flash again. Sorry, it's too slow. There we go. Okay. Jinx. Okay, good. So we get the flashes, we get the ults. Your Jinx is getting fed. Zed is roaming again. You're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's life. Come on, Jinx, get there. Okay. Your mid lane. Here we go. Oh, Morgana. Oh, Thresh. TP from Syndra. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Well then. So that's a dragon for them, huh?
Yeah. Should be.
I don't know if this goes any differently. The only thing that I see that stops this happening is once you get the kills. I think at this point, what's your vision like?
I kind of forget to watch the minimap whenever I'm fighting. Like over here, I should be able to tell that they are coming.
Yeah, I would anticipate it. Because I see no Shyvana, no Zed. I see no Shyvana, no Zed. I see no Zed. I know that the Shyvana was just topside killing me about 30 seconds to a minute before, which means she did bot side into red side, which means her camps down here should be up, which means she could also be very well in the area with the dragon spawning. Yeah, I think in this case you simply say, right, let's just fall out. Like you just ping your team, let's fall out, because you have no mana anyway. So I think this is a face check. Did we classify that as a face check? I'll say that's a face check.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not your fault, but you could have at least avoided everyone dying. Like maybe you die 100%. I mean, Morgana misses her Q. She doesn't get her ult off. Threat misses the hook. I mean, Syndra TPs. I mean, none of that's your fault, but I think we could have avoided it by trying to force our team to a safer position.
I agree.
Yeah. And I definitely think the red into bottom lane's better because now you get chunked, right? And as you get chunked, you fall out and disengage. You do the Krugs. You be full HP by the time you reach the Krugs because of the red buff. And then you could go from red into Raptors. And I think you might have to give up the dragon anyway. But if you did that, you could at least go straight to the Herald, which you did, but you could have done it without dying. So it's the right play. You just went to Valhalla first. Yeah. The only thing for me is there's been a lot of instances where when you've died, both deaths kind of ruined your sequencing of camps. You know, like earlier you didn't go back, so you took the wolves, but there was no Gromp because she stole it. Then you died top lane, so you did Gromp, but you didn't do the wolves again. You did Krugs into a bottom lane gank, so they've spawned again, but that's out of sync with the Raptors, you know? So I think that's something to think about as you're going for these ganks, as you're coming away from these ganks. If you manage to survive, if you manage to sort of not face check, as you fall back, make sure you take in the camps in a quadrant. You know, Krugs, Raptors, okay, now I can base. Okay, Grump, Scuttle, Wolves, okay, now I can base. Just so when they spawn again, you're maximizing your experience, because otherwise, like now, you're down 2 levels. You know?
Yeah.
But I think 100% like the game for you, the biggest thing in the game in terms of making sure that you're fed was that counter jungling you could have done at level 3. I think that's so big. I think your game plan is so good, and it looks like you've got it down to a science, you know? Like, you understand exactly how to use Jarvan in that sense. That Jax is a champion, and we love him. Yeah, that's...
Oh yeah, a lot of fun.
a lot of fun. Maybe that's a fight we just don't take.
Yeah.
Maybe you wait for your guy to come. Maybe you wait for your dude to show up. You know? Okay, he got the Herald though. Do you give him Herald, or do you like to take it yourself?
I take it myself.
Okay.
Like, most of the time, like... Yeah, it's usually better on me.
So I want to illustrate my point about the red buff. So the red buff gives you huge benefits. So your red buff spawned... Okay, what are we at? 1503, okay? So your red buff spawned, let's see. You took the second one, did you? So it would have been, what, 12 minutes-ish?
Yeah.
Let's see. No, it's up here. We're okay, that's still up here already. Oh, that's your second red buff. So that thing is up. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So the red buff spawns at... Because you counter jungle and everything? Right, so what, like... 9 minutes and 30? And at 15:03, that same red buff is still up. And now you're doing it. So you've basically wasted one whole rotation of the red buff. By not taking it. That's utility, right? It's just utility in your ganks and your sustain and the burn damage and everything like that.
Oh,
That's why I think, you know, like the 2 big plays that stand out for me is that counter jungling, as we said, and then the gank bottom lane was very nice. if you had your red buff and then you just fall back and you go do your Krugs and Raptors afterwards into the Herald, like that's a way for you to ultra carry the game while maximizing your time on the field. And if you maximize your time on the field, then Shyvana doesn't have a 2-level lead on you, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's all you have to do as Jarvan. Just make sure every time you're on the map, you're actually getting something that keeps her from running away with it. The Zed, do you hate Zed as well?
Oh yeah.
Everyone hates Zed, right? Just it's so freaking annoying. Okay, we do something Roam. Okay, we do something Roam.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, like, your game plan was fine because your bottom lane is fed. But the thing is, right? You think, hey, my bottom lane is fed. We got a fed Jinx. Huzzah, everyone's happy. And then you look and the Syndra's like 5, 3, and 2. And the Jinx is 3, 2, and 1. And they have the same CS almost. And Syndra has 100 more gold. You know? It's kind of unfortunate. You like donuts, fucking Rootster? That's good. I like donuts too. Speaking of donuts, segue. We're gonna donut someone here. Boom. Very nice. Good flash. Hello, Jax is a good champion. You die. I like your playstyle though. I like sacrificing myself for my team too. But only if it works. Otherwise I'm annoyed.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
That was a nice fight. Jeez. Okay, let me look at the map here. So you go in, and when does Mord TP? Once he sees the Jax. I think the difference between having a duo and not having a duo. No, when does he TP? When does it TP?
In a few seconds.
Way too late. Yeah. Way too late. Like if you have the ability to communicate with him here, his TP's up too, right? It's up.
Yeah.
Like Syndra's here, okay? So Syndra's top lane. So let's watch it from their perspective. So I'm only doing this because do you usually play with a duo? Like you like to play with this guy?
Yes and no. I usually play solo.
Okay. Well, in this case, because you have the duo, I think like do TP because they were top side, and if he TPs early, like even to the ward, to the minions here, you win this fight so heavily.
Yeah.
It's just, you only lose because he comes so late. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. The problem is you're down 2 levels. Okay, so now we need to farm. We don't need to necessarily fight. Okay, we're lucky. Dragon's up. So for me, Jesus, Jinx. Okay, that's okay. My only issue is we're kind of baiting in the bottom lane, you know?
Yeah.
No, she's dead, right? I don't know. Maybe it's my playstyle. But I feel like you baited them in and then said bye.
Yeah.
I think what I see here is, okay, we're gonna lose this. Jinx is here. Let me go straight to Gromp, Blue Wolves. So let me sequence, right? Now's the time. We don't have laners. We have 1 dead. 2 dead, actually. We have no TP. We cannot possibly fight 5v3. This 3v3 is disgustingly difficult to deal with. Maybe we can get away with it, but let me sequence right now. Let me do Gromp, Blue Wolves. Let's get level 10. Are we close? Yeah, we get close to it. Let's do Raptors. Let's control ward and get ready for Dragon. Let's make sure we keep that Dragon Soul prio on the field. I think by forcing a fight here, we sort of, like, you just like Gargoyles, Cinderhulk, Jarvan take on the world. But the problem is, yeah, we get the reset, which is nice. But I think you do the intelligent thing, right? So you're like, okay, great. Beautiful. Jax is dead. Now let's set up Dragon. But your bottom lane isn't going to think that, are they?
No.
No. So it's almost like it evolves, right? The higher elo you get, the more you can make that play. But at the same time, in this elo, and then going up even to D4, D3, you're gonna they're gonna just run him down. Jinx gets resets, and when Jinx gets resets, she must use them. Basically, you give away Dragon for this. You just Stonebladed that. Yeah. Okay, so from my point of view, this is where the game becomes incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah? Get the scoreboard up. At this point, you're just an ult bot. You guys have now thrown 2 fights. So the first fight was very, very good. Your duo should have TP'd in before the enemy bot lane rotated. So that's unfortunate. That's not your fault. But you had it within your control. And I think the same thing goes on here. You could have just sequenced and sort of like... Because they would have had to 100% back after this. Because they won the fight and then they go mid lane. They have no gold reset.
Yeah.
So by doing all of this and then getting control here, you would have the time that they're off the field to set a trap and actually win a proper fight. However, you did lose a fight, so they have a lot more items, but... Oh, she got it.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah. Good job, Jinx. Good job, if you're watching. There you go. And at this point, we're talking macro, and there's no macro in this either. It's just who's grouped and who can go for the right objective at the right time.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about the second half of this game specifically, or is mostly early game, right?
Yeah, it's mostly the early game.
Like at this point, you're gonna suffer entirely to the split push, because all they're gonna do macro wise, and this is the importance here. Maybe I can do this. Maybe we can just turn this into a general thing. Hold on, Twitch chat. Watch this. Let's do this. Right. Let's do this, because basically what's gonna happen now, Twitch chat, in your elos as well as you go into diamond, if we do this, there we go. Okay, like you're gonna have, let's see, what do we have? Wait, how do I want this to step in? There we go. We're gonna have sort of like, you're gonna have top lane into your base, you're gonna have mid lane into your base, you're gonna have bottom lane into your base, right? And all they're gonna do is put Zed here, right? And Jax here. And they're gonna say, right, who can deal with us 1v1? And the answer is, I think, no one, right? Can anyone deal with them at 1v1 at this point? No one. So all they need to do is put their Syndra, their 3 team here to wave clear, which you can do with Syndra and Karma very easily, as well as Shyvana. And basically, the blue team is going to be forced to continuously fight 5v3 in the mid lane, because no one can deal with them. And the only way they win the game is by making sure that they can win this 5v3 very, very quickly and shove hard as hell. And because you have Jinx, you can do it. But if you don't do it quickly enough, if you do lose anyone, all of a sudden Jax is going to penetrate your base, and Zed is going to penetrate your base, and you're going to lose everything. So if you can't have anyone to deal with this, it's just basic 1-3-1 strategy. Like that's exactly what they want. It's exactly what they want. So like, it makes it very difficult to deal with. Because here, like, they haven't set it up yet, but I know that's how they win, because I pre-scouted. Like, they just continuously use the split push. Because basically here, your Mordekaiser's like, okay, let's go deal with the Zed. So you're like, okay, we better go in, because there's no ways we win the 1-3-1 game. Jinx gets it, which is good, right? Like, that's good. That's exactly what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
All engage, get the resets. Now push. But I don't think we should be very careful about overstaying. So here, this is what we call, ladies and gentlemen, the Great Diamond Throw. This happens so much because people understand these basic macro concepts. I think you should have just left after in Hip Tower.
Yeah. I was pinging TZ, but...
Yeah. I would just leave. Bye. I would just leave. Because...
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you told them, yeah. Because once Mordekaiser goes back to deal with the wave and there's no wave, the Zed's going to just take your whole jungle and flank you, which is what he did. So all you guys have to do is drop out this way take their whole blue side, shove bottom wave, reset, and then you can do Baron. Or like force a Baron play with the 5v5, you know? But, yeah. Because from this, like, they should try and Baron, which they do.
Yeah.
But I think you guys have a good fight here.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, he's altered the... Who did he alter? The Kama?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. He needs to alter... if he alters Zed, does he win?
I doubt that.
Does Mordekaiser beat Zed? That's this Fed?
Not this
No,
one,
no, not this Mordekaiser. Wait, he has Spirit Visage and Grievous Wounds. Never mind. Never mind, he's full tank Mordekaiser. Yeah, this is it. This is all you want to do. There you go. That's all you want to do. Perfect. This is a stupid Baron by the red team.
Yeah.
This is so bad. There you go. There you go. There we go. Nice. So, the classic diamond throw followed by the second classic diamond throw. It tilts me. This is why I don't talk about the... Oh no, that's a bad TP. You have no damage! Syndra's up! No, just... No, don't do it! This... Right here, you won the game. Right here, you won the game.
Yeah.
And I think you knew you won the game, because you're like, guys, reset. And if you go look at the goal graph, 100%, you have the 2k lead right now. Oh, Jesus. Afterwards, you basically, you never have the gold lead again.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So for me, if you're gonna play Java and Rek'Sai, your goal should be not to let it get to the stage, because you put all your faith in the Jinx. Because I was actually debating, what was your game plan? I have a Jinx that's Ghetto Fed, and then I can peel.
Yeah.
But that's reliant on the Jinx having a brain.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, if you want to play the way you're playing, like, that's the 100% throw. The game is over, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game is over now. Because once you took the Baron, all you do, guys in general, I'm not saying to him to do it, he knows what to do. You just shove out this wave, you take the red, you take the whole jungle, I think. You take everything here. Reset, go bottom side, give Jinx this red buff, take the Krugs, set up vision control for your third dragon, make sure this is all shoved, and then you use the Baron with Mordekaiser in the mid lane just to make sure you get that inhib, because that would technically be up if you played it properly. And you get 2 inhibs, reset, or everyone go top lane, brute force it down their throat. Like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But people just want to shove into the base and win. Yeah, I think you gotta speak to your duo. You gotta have a few words.
Yeah, I might be.
No offense to him, but it's just like you know, you could make the plays. But yeah, no, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
He's actually Yasuo and Shed one trick pony, and yeah, he was forced to play top. So
Oh, he usually plays mid.
Yeah, he only plays mid.
Oh, okay.
Champions.
Was Yasuo banned?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, damn, that's okay.
Zed got like first pick or something.
Yeah.
Also, I really hate playing with Morgana. Like, that's most useless mid laner.
Yeah.
I'm sure he hit the single Q.
No. I mean, he was up 2 levels on the Zed, which is great, but the Zed roamed. But that's where my point comes in. You need to cause the sucking effect. You know, like, if Zed's gonna roam, you can't have the map sort of be really constrained to your side. You need to open the map up in their jungle, because the deep vision and the denial of the Shyvana is your win condition in terms of you. You put so much faith in the Jinx, I think too much faith. But for me, it's like the game, for you, the way you play, the game plan is so nice. I want to see this. I want to see this invade taking these camps away immediately, because you timed her top lane. Like, you should know she's top lane, and if she's not, you kill her. You know, like, for me, this is the win condition. You take these 2, take Frab, you gank bot lane again. You can full back, you can take your red side, you can reset, you can go gank for your dude if you wish. And for me, like, that pressure right there, you're 2 levels up on Shyvana. And for me, that's so big, because it means those ganks where you died bottom lane and they got dragons, you win them just because she's so far behind.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
And I'm not a Java main. I know King Nidog and everyone else, you know, like, everyone's in the Synod Hulk train, but I feel like to climb you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just worth thinking about being a little bit more selfish. That damage if you had a top lane as a dead Jax. Things like this. It still has a better win rate. For one item, the warrior still has a better win rate.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I have lost any game that I dealt warrior.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. We got here Cinderhulk, last warrior win. At least basically the AP Javan win. Echo, Kha'Zix,
One game.
Cinderhulk loss. Hey, Cinderhulk win. Here you go. Warrior win, warrior win, warrior win. You don't have a single loss. Okay, there you go. There's your first loss with warrior. But yeah, you win a lot more with warrior. I think because you have such a good carry style in your mind, like with your ganking and your pressure. If you just take that a little bit further in terms of taking the enemy jungle, taking those kills, and then just one-shotting the person at level 6, I think you should be absolutely fine.